We've built in two very big new features into ClassMon in this new update 3.004. The first one is the program journal or the daily journal. You'll see in the top right hand corner, straight away you'll notice two new buttons up here. We've got one for new journals and one for managing your existing journals. So I'm just going to step you through the process to create a journal. First up, I'll just talk about what a journal is. Most of you will know, most of you will do daily or weekly journals. The feedback we've got for ClassMon being used for journals, as it was before, it worked in the way that you could do a workaround where you could add a child, which was the group or the class, and then you'd make observations of that child, and then obviously those observations will end up being a journal for that group. Now that was fine, but it would mean that you'd had to create your observations as observations which were attached to learning outcomes and learning elements. And that also means the journals would end up on the side panel here under one of the sections of the outcomes, and the list would grow very long if you were doing, certainly if you were doing one for each day of learning, then that list will get quite long. So we've broken them right away now into a separate area, and that's where they are here. So if we hit new journal, it just allows you to name a journal. So you might have Father's Day, and you have some photos for Father's Day. So you just hit the browse and off to your photo library. I'll add 2 photos. Type up your story for this journal entry, or you might only put photos in with some captions. So if you added captions here, you just click on caption, add your caption. But I'll add some text for a story. I'll just grab some text. You wouldn't usually do this, but I'll just grab some text from the learning guide here and pop that in. Okay, and that's done. I can save that. And now that's saved as a journal. If I now go to my Manage Journals, you'll see that at the top of the list is my new Father's Day entry. And here's some previous entries I've done. So to create those journals and print them out, I simply hit the print button and it lays it out for me. So again, we've designed a few templates here where you can choose which style you'd like to produce that in. So pretty powerful in that you've very quickly created your daily journals. You've archived them. So this list will just grow and grow throughout the year. It'll be a long scrolling list with the new one always appearing at the top. If you want to edit, you just come back into the edit feature here and you're back in. You can add your photos or change the text. From the Managed Journals list, you've also got the option to create a photo show. So if you want to create a slideshow of all the images you've used for your daily journals, so all your group photos, click the Create Photo Show button, type in a name, choose your music, slide duration, and you can export that to a flash drive or to your hard drive, and it will take all those photos and automatically create that slideshow with music and captions. So that's a good one to have maybe for the end of term or end of year. The other feature we'll take a look at is what we call the general outcome. So when you're making observations of the children, the first step is always to choose a learning outcome and record that observation within that learning outcome. We've now added one called general, because if you don't want to define a primary learning outcome for an observation, you now have an option just to store it as a general observation. So if you click on general, put in your observation name, and it is already defaulted to learning outcome general and element observation. Put in your observation. I'll just put some text in there. Don't choose any additional outcomes because you're not defining outcomes for this. It's just going to be a general ob. Add your work samples. So we'll put our photos in. You may wish to add captions for your photos. Add your learning story text. Save it. You can even put planning notes in from this general ob. Apply the observation and you can print that out as an observation. And you'll notice when you print the general observations, it doesn't print any outcome information. It's just got the child's name and the name of the observation. So now you have that option to create more generic observations that aren't related to learning outcomes. If you decide later on that this observation maybe does relate to learning outcomes, then you can click on that observation and actually change it to an outcome and an element. And if you update that, it will now appear under identity. So now when you print that, you've got the outcome information showing at the top. So a very versatile option and a very good one. So you can record a whole range of observations, whether they're child specific using the general outcome or whether they're daily journals using the new journal feature.